Hello my friends, Thomas with Alpha Koncepts here again. This is the second episode in the 5-part series talking about the use of force in Illinois. In this episode we're talking about the use of force in defense of dwelling. In the first episode we talked about the use of force in defense of person. We're also going to show you use of force in defense of your other property, as well as the civil immunity and how that's a double-edged sword. And then in the fifth episode is the 5 rules of self-defense. So I hope you check them all out. Right now we're going to watch a class recording about how I'm explaining the use of force in defense of dwelling to the students in the class.
This video is sponsored by Alpha Koncepts Firearm Training. Alpha Koncepts offers firearm training for beginners or the advanced shooter. Sign up for a concealed carry training class today and learn from the best in Chicago. Check the training calendar at alphakoncepts.com or call 847-612-3952.
Use of force in defense of dwelling, your home. A person is justified to use of force against another when and to the extent that he reasonably believes that such conduct is necessary to prevent or terminate such other's unlawful entry into or attack upon a dwelling. Someone comes to your door, ding dong, you open up the door, you don't know them, they try to force their way inside. First off, don't answer the door for people you don't know. It's never anything good. They're going to try to sell you something. That's like the best case scenario. I don't want what you're selling, so I just don't answer. I look, I see, I don't know you. That's the end of that. But let's say you do answer the door and all of a sudden someone's trying to force their way into your house. Well, in my layman opinion, this says I can use simple force to prevent them from entering my house unlawfully. However, that doesn't mean I can shoot them. I am only justified to use of force which is intended or likely to cause death or great bodily harm only if the entry is made in a violent, riotous, or tumultuous manner. They've kicked in the door, they've thrown a brick through the window. That's a violent entry. And I reasonably believe, there's that word again, would the judge and jury agree with me, that such force is necessary to prevent an assault upon or offer personal violence to someone within the dwelling. Not only has it been a violent entry, but it has been a violent entry done for the purposes of causing harm. Remember, they have to articulate their intent to cause you harm, either through their words, there you are, mother effer, I'm going to get you. Would a reasonable person agree that they are there to cause harm? Or maybe they don't even say a word, they're just coming at you with a knife or a club or a baseball bat. Would a reasonable person agree that they're there to cause harm? If I was on the jury, I would. But not all violent entries are done for the purposes of causing harm. And so that's the thing. It's not just a violent entry. It's a violent entry that is done for the purpose of causing harm. So give me an idea, give me an example of a violent entry that's not done for the purpose of causing harm.
Broke in to go take a shower.
Broke in to take a shower, as we discussed yesterday, happened in Minnesota. I let the dude take a shower while the cops arrived. I just call the cops, retreat to safety, let the cops deal with it. I pay taxes for a reason. Not shoot them like the dude in Minnesota. What other examples? The fire department and the police do violent entries every single day for righteous and just reasons. Someone's in trouble. My next door neighbor, Gladys. That's not her name, but that's the name we're going to use. Little old lady. She's retired. She's got this beautiful rose garden because she's got nothing to do with her time. So every morning she's out there weeding and pruning, and it's just immaculate because that's what she does with her time. And every morning I go to work. Bye, Gladys. See you when I get home. Now all of a sudden it's Wednesday. And I'm like, hey, you know what? I haven't seen Gladys in a couple days. So I got a few minutes. I'm going to go, and I go like ding, ding, ding. Nobody's answering, nobody's answering. I start looking through the window, and I see Gladys laying on the living room floor. But she's alive, and she's like trying to get my attention, because you know, if an elderly person breaks a hip, they can't get up. Now, I'm not saying you should kick in her door, but I might. That would be a violent entry, but not done for purposes of causing harm. Now, yeah, I'm throwing out this story that is very unlikely to happen, but has happened. There have been times where neighbors have kicked in their neighbor's door for just reasons. Fires in the house. Neighbors have kicked in the door, ran in to get the family, the pets and stuff out. So it's not just a violent entry. It's a violent entry done for purposes of causing harm. And the thing is, you have to know. You can't guess. I don't know why they were there. They have to articulate an intent. Or no matter how they got in the house, cat burglar, right? Like you see in the movies with the glass cutter, cuts a hole in the glass, reaches in, sneaks through the window. Who cares how they got in? Once they're in for the purposes of committing a felony. What's the definition of a felony? If you don't know what a felony is, maybe don't press triggers to stop felonies. That's how you get yourself into trouble. Well, he's stealing my TV. Was that a felony? I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't press the trigger then. It doesn't say you can't use simple force. You can, right? But if you're not 100% sure that what he's stealing or the action that he is doing is a felony, if you're not 100% sure, you're risking your freedom. And that's why I said before, shoot to defend life, not stuff, because it simplifies all of this. Someone's taking my TV, I'm not going to shoot them. They're going to drop the TV, I'm going to have to buy a new TV anyway. I'm going to have to clean their blood and guts off the floor. I'm going to have to tell the cops why I did what I did. I might have to deal with a civil lawsuit. I'm probably going to cry and lose sleep, statistically, for the next 6 months. People will treat me differently. People will look at me differently. Is it worth it for a TV? Only you can answer that. The answer to me, not for a TV. It's not. And the TV might not even be to the level of a felony. Most are not nowadays. They're so cheap. Dwelling means, right? Remember, use of force in defense of dwelling. So what's a dwelling? Legally speaking, a dwelling is a building or a portion thereof, a tent, a vehicle, or an other enclosed space which is used or intended for use for human habitation, a home or a residence. It also means a house or apartment, a mobile home, a trailer, or other living quarters which at the time of the alleged offense you either do reside or intend to reside within a reasonable amount of time, meaning a vacation home or something like that.
I wonder if a commercial truck fits in that. Probably.
Well, are you sleeping in it?
Yeah.
If you were sleeping in it, in my layman opinion, it's an enclosed space which is intended for use for human habitation. Hell, it's a vehicle, right? Now, I had a lawyer in class one time, and we were going back and forth on this a little bit. And we came to this consensus. You can be charged and you could be arrested for anything. The letter of the law becomes your defense in court. If the cops chose to charge you because you were defending your... What kind of truck did you say? Like a semi. Oh, yeah. So you're sleeping in your semi truck over the road. Yeah. And you're like, hey, you know, I was defending my dwelling. Well, let's say you did get arrested for whatever reason, then the lawyer would be arguing it was used for human, it was a vehicle used for human habitation. So to me, if I was on the jury, I'd absolutely acquit. It's cut and dry, in my opinion. Likely charges wouldn't be filed unless there was some gray area, but you can be arrested for anything. Always. In the back of your mind, you always must be reminded, remember, you can be arrested for anything. Thanks for watching, my friends, and if you like that video, don't be shy. Hit that like button. And if you haven't already subscribed, be sure to subscribe before you back out of the channel. And if any of your friends have any questions and this can help them out, definitely share the video with your friends. As always, everybody, be armed, be trained, and be alpha. I'll see you on the next video.